Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are playing some Jeskai control. We have some very tense matchups today, and we also have some salty gamers today. There was an accident that happened in one of the games to me personally, IRL, so that was really cool. But other than that, the only thing I'll recommend when we're looking at this list is I did a couple of spicy things. One, I made a mistake. This Aurelia, because I was playing best of one, should be out for this guy. You should definitely just play this guy over Aurelia if you have him. It's definitely whatever. I also argue that you can probably cut this guy and play a second one of these or something else like another member deluge or something. But we are playing an interesting sideboard. I had a conversation with myself, you know, as one does when you're playing Magic by your lonesome. You talk to yourself. I said, what does red provide us that blue-white does not? Like, why would we play red? What sideboard options do we get that white and blue do not typically get? And that is 4 copies of Urbrass Forge. We are so primed and ready to run into that control matchup just to be the Urbrass Forge control deck. Urbrass Forge in general is just strong against control because it requires so many cards, and if they're not able to answer it, you start constantly bonking them with bigger and bigger creatures that have trample, and they just keep tempoing up. But we are going to play it today in our sideboard as 4 of. The other red card is Barrages. Those are good against Esper. They help us out a little bit in that matchup as well. But yeah, we're going to hop into the games, see how they go. We got quite a long one. Definitely some grindy ones. Definitely some salty gamers. And we're just going to get into the matches. Thanks for watching, and let's get out there and game. All right, cool. We'll be on to play. Not me having to play another match because Streamlabs didn't record my client because it had an update, so I didn't know what it looked like. I screen captured and it was just lagging everywhere, so I decided that was probably a bad idea to have that be posted. So here we are playing another match, playing incredibly late. This little land here. Now this is actually Esper or blue white or blue black or anything they want it to be. Steady. Let's play another tap land pass here. Nothing? I feel like this has to be Esper though, right? What type of Esper? Fire this off. Dangerous. Alright, well that's pretty good. Now I'll pass. We'll definitely try to jam this Emperor on instep. Sure. So we know it's just straight up control. Got a removal for it? Sure. Don't mind too much. Sure. I'm not super pumped about this, but I don't really know what else to do. I guess. God, how does Arena have updates, but everything's still screwed up? Sure. I do think we're going to be much favored. Like, favored much more in the sideboard games. I'm going to force them to show me their win conditions, though. I'm okay. What do we got, opponent? I have a plan for this matchup. Honestly, I don't really even want to show them anything else. I'm just going to go ahead and concede. So I'm bringing these in. I'm bringing these in. I'm bringing this in. It's called a transition sideboard. It's very cool. You're probably never going to be good. Farewell's kind of whatever. Sunfalls are probably bad. Temporary lockdowns are probably bad. I'm going to keep Farewell just as kind of like a bullet card. Ill-Time Explosion is also good in terms of just drawing cards. But I'm not entirely sure if they're needed. Like, these are better than Ill-Time because it's sorcery speed. I guess I'd like Lightning Helix just to get like that last little reach in if I need to. Because they're way better with like this Strider, I suppose. I guess I'll just keep a Farewell and I'll just rock like this. Marches are generally always useful. It's just weird. Get Lost is good and the rest is fine. And then we just Urbrass Forge and they have to deal with this whole time. But this hand, we definitely latch onto this. Tap lane. Pass. Land. No. Yeah. Let's move on. Turn. We're going to try to draw on their end step here. It's most likely they could counter this. Sure. Pass. How this will work is, especially with this mana in play, they will not be able to play for a No More Lies or be able to use 2 of them. So now, playing Ganjo, I put an Urbrax Forge on the stack. Resolve, which is interesting to say the least. We'll attack. Hit for 1. Pass. Yeah, that doesn't really matter that much. Urbrax Forge can definitely outpace this. Especially considering I can Lightning Helix this. Very sweet. Play a Sequin Coast. The combat. Make another one of these. Him down. I have another counter spell and I have Lightning Helix, so I'm gonna try to get this down. Celestis is a very hard card for control to keep up with. It does make a mana, but also just kind of cycles and let us get what we want. Now this Mirrex token, especially with the tempo that we've changed, I just don't care. I'd much rather hold up to counter magic. Sure. Step. I'll fire this off. I'll take the action. You sick? Good card to have in the yard. What? A Rest Forge. 3 more damage. It's a big old hit. Realistically, it's kind of crazy to think about, but they're at 5. Sure. Can't block, so we just do not care, really. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Good thing we cast it, huh, team? You ever just look at 7 lands and then draw an 8th? It's all good. Attack. Down to 7. Now we helix them. We helix them. Holding up a counter spell, and no matter what they do, they have to either hold up this Field of Ruin, which they should use to blow up my land now, but they will not. Sure. Yeah. Go Lightning Helix you. Go Lightning Helix you. Bring this up. Blue, white, blue, white. So it doesn't really matter what I get here. Sure. I will grab a blue. I have double counter spell for whatever they try to do here. They do have the marches. Counter. What do we got, opponent? You have another removal. I'm gonna force the interaction here. What in the world? Why do they play so many spells that rely on poison? This is insane to me. But guess what? We have the final counter spell. What a wild stack that is. Oh man. Bonk. What a wild stack. We used 3 counter spells. Definitely am willing to try this hand. We hit a land, which is perfect. Yes. Yeah. My turn. Slam. Oh, snappers off.
The weak-minded will be educated by Rexia's ways.
I like to draw. I feel like Jace is not sticking around. Yeah, I didn't figure much.
No secret escapes my
Wait.
grasp.
There's their Mirix. Have a spell for me? Oh, mainboard memory deluge while I'm tapped out, which means my Field of Ruin is going to come in and answer the Mirix. Nice. Now I don't have to worry about the Mirix. And I'll have negate held up. Very sweet. I'll have negate and no more lies, which I'll use a no more lies here early. They're still like kind of mana deprived a little bit. Alright, slam. Sweet. Brass Forge. Go to work, King. Then on the next couple of turns, we actually have some decently good plays here. We will not allow that to happen for sure. Drawing 3 seem big bad for us. Honestly, what I would really love, maybe they farewell me. Just to get rid of this. Her Brass Forge, that'd be so funny. They draw 4. Okay. Would you like to discard cards? Get to discard 1, I think. Her Brass Forge off the top, please. Stack. Memory deluge, hope I hit land. Third of beach and a get lost, sure. Now we still have negate up, but I am still progressing my mana base, which is like the hardest thing to do sometimes. What you got? March. Try to protect it, I guess. Ooh, brutal. Brass Forge? Ah. I want to try to hit Forge. I want to try to hit 2 Forges. Now we're cooking. The only real problem is I don't know how much I really want to commit to playing them both because Farewell is an option that I could have to deal with in the future. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold up Memory Deluge here. You just attack. Cause problems. With no Mirix in play, a lot of their spells are actually way worse. Opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Get a poison counter? Sure. Oh no. Does feel a little bit more like desperation from me. Sure. That also seems like desperation. We might have him on the ropes, team. And now, like, letting this resolve doesn't feel great. So we get the lightning helix. Honestly, quick study is also good. I know I'm missing a land drop by doing that, but I think I have to. Play the forge. Wow, that's stuck. That's crazy. Now, I don't want to play into a No More Lies. I have to discard here. That's tough. Move in. Attack. Strike. And helix. If I could find like a counter spell or something, I think I would go for it. I was going to hold up Memory Deluge, but I can also do quick study, but I don't have to lose my card that way. So I'm perfectly fine with it. They know more. They Memory Deluge. Transition sideboard. Augers. Yes. Find an answer. You find another march. No? Quick study. Wow, weird. A weird way to do that. Oh. This might be risky, but Memory Deluge. Sweet. That sticks. Now we're relying on this a lot now. Attack. 1 mana is probably what? About? What would 1 mana be? They got a pause for some reason. Sick. Now we're pulling all the lightning helixes and stuff out. So no field of ruin from them either. I'm just gonna get aggressive, honestly. I don't even care. I think we have to try to get him as low as physically possible here. What is lightning helix? Sure. Not 2-1 fine. Oh, you have cut down in the deck still? Man, the Urbrash Forge got them messed up. They have to keep cut down into the deck. That's so devastating. I probably shouldn't even have a helix. I probably should have just kept up my Memory Deluge, to be honest. What are they waiting for every time? So weird that they're like waiting on these marches every time. But sure. My turn. I guess I just don't care, right? Just pass. Burn. Just discard a march. Now we can flash in an Emperor and try to do something with it. But honestly, I'd rather Memory Deluge, I think. I'm running out of win conditions, I believe. Yeah, let's Memory Deluge. This is definitely a thing that they'll look to counter. Alright, now that we have a second one, I'm feeling a lot better. And we only need to get them down so low here. Fire this off. On a 7. I'm gonna play an Emperor now. I get 2-2.
I am the Emperor of
Just because I'm gonna have to discard anyway.
I will protect my people.
Sure. Don't make him a 2-2.
Keep watch for intruders.
Sure. I'll let a march go. Slam this. And now if I get to make a token and they hit, I have lightning helix.
Anyone who harms my people
Make me sack another one. You got another Raska's fall? Oh, sacrifice a planeswalker? Okay.
You must protect the people.
The combat attack. I have a counter spell. Yeah, negate, I guess. And then I'll grab an Herb Force just in case. Yeah. Now we get to hit for 4, and then we get to put a Herb Forge down if they draw a counter spell, and then Lightning Helix them. Oh, that's a good game. Yep. And just like that, this is why I was like, what in red? Because obviously I can look up what a blue-white sideboard consists of, but I'm like, what can red bring to the table that decks in the mirror kind of aren't going to be ready for? And I'm like, man, Herb Forge is just sick. Like, Herb Forge is a card that you bring in against control when you're the aggro decks. What happens if you're playing control and you're in the mirror and you're just like, what if I bring in the Herb Forge and now they have to deal with this when they're taking out most of their creature removal? So I like that. I like that plan so far. All right, my opponent's first. Do a setup. Slow. No more Lightning Helix and Emperor. I think we can try this. We are on the draw. We draw any other land. This hand actually works out pretty well, as long as it's not one of these lands. Blue black again? Okay. What if I draw another slow land? Blue red. We're sneaky. I would assume this is probably just normal blue black, which I'm not entirely sure how this matchup goes, but oh, opponent, would you like to get game action? Okay, as long as just taking their clock, I don't really care. Like, in theory, I don't really care. I would like for them to play the Magic the Gathering game. Alright, I'll just keep drawing slow lands, it's fine. Don't worry, I'm hitting all the lands in the world. This has no value currently, and this is also a one of normally in the list. If they went over to the MTGO challenge list, this is a one of. I'll probably link you their exact deck list. Just like that, because the other tap lands, they're going to get to draw another card here, which is kind of tough. It sucks a lot, honestly. But hey, you know, here we go. We're going to get Gix off the battlefield. I think Gix might be a 2 of, but they definitely play like Make Disappears and stuff. So while I can kind of get things off the battlefield, I'm willing to take 2 for a long time, especially with an Emperor on the battlefield. Ugh. Could do that. You can exile your Gix and then sack it, make this a copy of Gix, hit me and draw a card. That's the thing you could do. Hello? Opponent. This is honestly, like, one of my biggest grievances thus far playing Best of 3 that I've experienced so far. Is like, I don't care if you like net deck, because that's the thing that a lot of Magic players do. But like, if you're going to, can you just look at the deck list, please? Know how the cards work, or just like do something? I don't know. It just feels like we're playing so slow for what feels like no reason, you know? Like, I just wait here, I think. I'd much rather them tap out on their turn to do something. Passing. Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm saying. Is like, why are we playing so slow? Best of one people don't, because you just start getting timed and it like doesn't matter. Sure. I'm gonna exile their card over here.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you. This
And then they can mastermind hit my Emperor, I know, but I don't really care that much. Sure. Uh-huh.
back to wandering.
I realized I only had one blue mana. That's kind of crazy. Gotta figure it out, opponent. You got another flash creature or something? Okay. What's the counter spell? You have it? Yep. Kind of figured as much. This all kind of came down to me not having mana early, which sucks. Sure. So tough. You gotta do, opponent. Sure. Oh. What the heck happened? Well, I'm going to concede because I just apparently cut my leg open off something. What the? Why am I bleeding, bro? What did I cut myself on? I have no idea what I cut myself on. What did I even bring in? Black, blue, white. What the, dude? These, this. Maybe these because they kind of suck. I don't even like bringing those in, to be honest. This can kind of go, I guess. They do play a lot of blue creatures. It's just like it doesn't answer at Gix. And I'm only bringing in one. I'm gonna have to play the control deck, I suppose. Love swag wagon too much. Lockdown's kind of whatever. Projects I think are kind of whatever as well. I want to do this, I guess. My leg done bleeding yet? Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna play first, I suppose. I will keep. I have untapped mana this time around. I'll probably get the rest on turn one, but it'll be what it is. This one? Pass. And I'll play the Secret Coast right away. Pass. We'll play Deserted Beach. They play another tap land, or if they play a tap land, I would like to quick study, but we're gonna quick study whenever Fairy Mastermind's possible. But we ought to pass there, and there was no stop, so I doubt it's possible, or I doubt it's a thing that's happening. Sick. Just do this, just considering we have like Sunfall and the Farewell as well. You just pass, but next turn I might play Sequim Coast, depending if the creature they play is like kind of whatever. Weirdly enough, I think Shieldred's kind of whatever as well in this situation. I didn't like Preacher just because of the fact that they would be able to draw a card, and drawing a card in this matchup matters a ton. So, I don't know what it came from, by the way. I'm like fine. I was just doing like work around the house. I must have just cut it doing so. But I was playing for 20 minutes and I was like, or 10-ish minutes. I was like, wow, my leg feels itchy. And I like kind of like itched my leg for a second. You just looked down and my hand was just like not having a good time. And I can draw a card here, I think. I'm gonna try to memory deluge anyway. But I like put my hand down and my hand, like I just like went to put my hand back on my desk and I noticed my hand was red and I was like, oh. Sure. Looks here. That's 3 damage. I don't care if they draw 1 in this type of spot. Not letting them draw more than 1. And a Mirix is hard to deal with, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it off the battlefield as well, along with thinning my deck out of my basics. But what do you got, opponent? Just let it happen. I don't know what like this hesitation is for. There's just no reason for it. You're gonna do flash in a mastermind in response. Blue's fine. Got another creature to play? Sick. Do this. Working well. We have a lot of lands though, still. So they just still have gas in their deck. It's gonna be fine. But after the 3rd Preacher, they conceded. Sweet. What do I want to do? This is 2 and less, so don't even get Preachers. But I think it's fine. We just need enough cards to stall long enough that we can Sunfall them. Oh. I mean, if we hit a land, I feel like this hand curves out really well. So I think I'm willing to ride on this hand. We do have a Helix to kind of protect yourself early. The only creature we don't really get to protect ourselves from is a Preacher. But 2 quick studies after this should be good. I think I'd keep this most times. So, especially because we are also on the draw as well. But any difference between game 1 and 2, besides the fact that I apparently started dying, they actually had a Gix come down and get value, which is hopefully what we can prevent this time. But who knows? We got it, opponent. No Spyglass, please. The rest. Nice. Land pass. I like that wasn't that hard. The control deck, by the way. We're looking at like 22 to 26. I don't know. The fact that I play best of 3, I kind of lock into these pretty frequently. I don't know if that's just me or if anybody else does. But I look at these quite often. I'm not sure why, because like when I play in paper, I never look at the time. But I guess I don't look at the time if like we're making game actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. They timed out. Sure. I guess we kept a 1 land and missed and then put a hole in our monitor. I don't know. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are playing. My opponent has re-arrived onto the scene. Maybe. Got to combat and now we're frozen again. We didn't attack? Hello? I think I'm intentionally getting slow rolled right now. But, you know, that's okay. We're like way up on time. Does not matter to me. Try to pass. Oh no. Fine. Okay. Now if they play Gix here, I'm in trouble. But honestly, I thought about just letting it go to counter a Gix. But we're actually playing. Woo! Duress. You don't want to keep Duress, big dog. You don't want to look at this hand. It's a masterpiece. You would. It's only 3 cards plus 6. If you think about it that way. Oh no, I'm hit. I'm taking damage. We pass. I'm not a fan of passing here, but I think I have to. If they fairy mastermind here, I'm definitely just quick studying because they're going to try to duress me next turn. And if they didn't play a Gix there, like I feel like I don't know what their hand could have been. You have another mastermind? Please play it if you do. This arena just allows you to do this, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so they didn't miss the land earlier. They're just missing them now. Sure. Take a look. What do you think? They're all cool, huh? A Sunfall? I can't even play it. Sure. I'm actually so mad that it gave him a timeout too. Ooh. I gotta play the Odawara. It sucks because then I won't be able to Sunfall, but holding up 2 No More Lies seems a lot better than having Sunfall up on turn 5. Or turn 6, right? Because we missed the land. But it's okay, opponent. I'm locked in. I'm here the entire time. I committed 50 minutes to play this match. Just because you don't want to doesn't mean, you know, you gotta do this. You can concede at any time if you're not having fun. That's the best part about Magic the Gathering. You're allowed to leave at any time. And if you want to slow roll and sit here and stay the whole time, that's fine with me, dog. Let's duke it up, you know? I got like 13 new cards in my hand. Don't worry, it's fine. Everything's okay. I'm just playing cards you know about. If I flood and lose this game, then I'll tilt. I'm not gonna tilt over a lot of things in this match, but if I lose because of flood after my opponent's been slow rolling this entire time, be upset. Wild. Well, I drew land because they didn't play land last turn. They didn't have a fairy mastermind, so I'm gonna just quick study. Wow. Pass. What you got for me, opponent? Wow. We're gonna tune back in here. My opponent used both their timeouts, and this is another timeout. And arena for the second time in a row now that they full timed out was not forced to concede. They've been slow rolling the entire time, so here we are, which is very cool. For reference, they're at 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Both games only lasted. You were here for both of them, so you know. And I have 24 minutes and 41 seconds on my clock. I've used essentially 5 minutes, and they've used 15 plus, and I'm playing control. All right, do they concede here or does it pass? Okay, thank you, arena. Wow, we're so resilient. I had to apply first aid to myself in game 1, and then we do that. But here's the big problem as I go to the outro. Because that game took so long unnecessarily, and because of issues, and I have to go clean now. I'm fine, by the way. Don't freak out. But I'm out of time. I have no time now. So I have an RCQ that I'm hosting this weekend. Not me, the store I work for. We're hosting an RCQ this weekend. So my videos are kind of like, I'm not saying they're short, but like they're a couple of matches because it's kind of all I got time to do. I'm working. I work my 12-hour day, do my thing. But yeah, so the main board's kind of whatever. Do I think Aurelia should be in here? Probably not. I definitely forgot that the Jeskai dragon existed. Where is he at? This guy should probably just be in. over this Aurelia because of the hexproof and that being so important. But I do think the most fun thing that we can do, which is weird because I'm going to talk about it in the sideboard, is we are over here. We are the Urbras Forge control deck. I think I really was just like, man, I don't know what we can play that is worth playing red in the main over just like blue white. Obviously the barrages are good, but I was looking in the sideboard and it just looked like different forms of removal that sometimes were better than others, and it didn't really matter. So I was like, okay, if I can get 4 lockdowns, my 4 sunfalls kind of in the side, a couple of negates, and maybe like another farewell like we have in here, and maybe a spot up removal spell, because again, we have lightning helix where blue white control does not. So straight up just target removal spell is not necessarily needed that much. What can I play in my sideboard that can help in these control matchups take it over the edge? And I think Urbras Forge was the way to do that. I think we saw how annoying it was. There is no world in which you're playing a control deck and you leave in cut down against blue white control ever. You just take them out. You just use any other form of removal. Sometimes you'll get left where you're like, I guess I have to leave in a go for the throat because I just have no cuts to make. Or say like a bitter triumph or something. But Urbras Forge forced our opponent to put their cut downs back in because they just could not keep up with this card. And this card just ate cards out of their hand over and over and over again. And when we kind of fell behind, Urbras Forge made them waste 2 cards and kind of caught us back up in a card advantage. And in control matchups, that's what matters the most. How many cards do you have in hand? Do you have more than your opponent most of the time? Especially if the board stays neutral. That's why I like Celestis, this card in control matchups. If this is the only permanent in play outside of lands, that player is typically winning because they are filtering their hand nonstop. They're controlling what's in their hand at any given point, and you are just kind of at the mercy of a top deck. For example, if you're both looking for memory delusions, the guy with the Celestis is probably going to find it quicker. Quick studies, Celestis player is going to find them quicker. Things like that. And getting to like the win cons that actually matter, the Celestis player is going to get to them first. And it's just things like that that are so important, that are so nice about this deck. But again, I think this just transition sideboard playing is so good. And we go down 1 game in the beginning of both our matches, and we actually come back and play 6 games in total. But we actually crawl back in both of our matches down 0-1 to end up winning 2-1. And Urbras Forge had a lot to do with that in the first matchup. Our opponent salting off in the second one probably had a lot to do with it. But, you know, at the end of the day, can't control it all, you know. It's okay. I get it. You're allowed to be salty. It is what it is. But I like Jeskai. Obviously, I think there's upgrades to this list that could happen. Better things. Like, I really like just playing this card. This might not be the best card of all time to play in the list. I didn't get to see it today, but I just enjoy playing it. Like, realistically, should this be out for a 4th memory deluge? Probably. Should it be out for another quick study? Maybe. Or a Wandering Emperor. I liked it a lot in Best of 1 just because in Best of 1 you kind of have to play some bullets and stuff like that. They can get you over the top. You have to play flexible cards, and it does fit that bill for the most part. But outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to call it there, and I'll see you all later in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.